found some of the funniest fake Minecraft speedruns because these speedrunners are absolutely terrible at hiding the fact that they're literally cheating. This speedrunner starts by loading into the world where immediately we see a village on the left side of their screen, which, if you ask me, is a very good start for a speedrun. Well, the speedrunner immediately heads inside of the village and enters a house where they find a chest that has some pretty normal loot, like bread, apples, and some seeds. Nothing that is too suspicious yet. Well, the speedrunner takes the apples and the bread, but hold on just a second. Do you see that? Well, if we look inside their inventory, we can see that they have an iron pickaxe, but the chest did not have an iron pickaxe inside of it, and whenever they started the speedrun, they had no items. So where the heck did they get this iron pickaxe from? Well, if we rewind the footage and then play it again from right here, we can see that as they walked inside the house, they picked up an iron pickaxe, which means that before they began the speedrun, they likely took an iron pickaxe and threw it in the corner of the house and hoped that we wouldn't notice. And if I'm being completely honest, they almost got away with it. But once the speedrunner finishes looting the chest, they exit the house and begin mining some wood. They then find an iron golem, which they of course smack it and then build straight up. But the iron golem somehow does parkour to hit the speedrunner down. Okay, since when could iron golems do parkour? There must have been a new update. Well, now that the speedrunner is a little low, they build right back up and kill the iron golem, which drops them 3 iron ingots. The speedrunner then explores more of the village where they suddenly find another iron golem. But hold on just a second. Villages can only spawn 1 iron golem, so the fact that there is another iron golem here is actually very confusing. Well, the speedrunner kills this iron golem, and they now have 6 iron ingots. But guess what? The speedrunner finds another iron golem. Okay, something tells me that the speedrunner went inside of creative mode and placed a bunch of iron golems inside of this village, because I have never seen more than 1 iron golem in a village in my entire life. Well, the speedrunner kills this iron golem as well, and now that they have 9 iron ingots, they explore the village some more to try and find a crafting table. But hold on just a second. Did you see that? Well, if I rewind the footage and then pause it right here, we can see what appears to be an armadillo. But what is an armadillo doing inside of a random village? Because this mob can only spawn inside of the swamp biome, so one being right here is physically impossible. Well, the speedrunner completely ignores the armadillo and enters a house where they find a chest that has some normal loot and also a crafting table. The speedrunner then crafts himself an iron sword and also an iron helmet. They then break the crafting table, and then for some odd reason, the speedrunner leaves the village and starts heading in a completely random direction. But hold on just a second. You see, I only have 11 subscribers, and it's always been my goal to one day reach 12 subscribers. So if you could subscribe, that would genuinely mean so much to me. Well, as they're wandering in a random direction, they of course find a ruined portal. And as they get closer, we can see that the ruined portal is already fully constructed, which is physically impossible. And this already finished ruined portal isn't even the fakest part about this speedrun, because what the speedrunner does at the end is absolutely insane. Well, the speedrunner loots the ruined portal chest where they find some normal loot, like a fire charge, a golden shovel, and some golden pants. All loot that is actually normal. They take everything out of the chest and light the nether portal with their fire charge. They then break the golden block and head into the portal. And once they're in the nether, they open up their coordinates and begin looking around, which is actually a pro speedrunner strategy to try and find entities inside of the nether. But something tells me that the speedrunner has no idea what they're actually doing, because they begin heading in a completely random direction. But hold on just a second. Did you see that? Well, the speedrunner has been heading in a random direction, right? Well, actually no, because we can see what appears to be a glowstone path that they seem to be following. And they continue following this glowstone path, which leads them directly to the nether fortress. Okay, this has got to be the fakest speedrun I think I've ever seen. Well, now that the speedrunner has finally found the nether fortress. Wait, what the heck? Did you see that? 1 second ago, the nether fortress was completely empty. But if I play the footage from here very slowly, we can see that there was a sudden cut where a bunch of blazes randomly spawned. But cutting a part out of your speedrun is actually against the rules of speedrunning, which means that this speedrun is completely fake. Well, the speedrunner heads into the fortress and begins killing the blazes. But for some reason the blazes aren't moving. And if I'm being completely honest, I have no idea how they're doing this. So if you know how they did this, then please let me know, because I am so confused. Well, the speedrunner goes around the entire fortress, killing a bunch of blazes. And other than the blazes not moving, nothing looks too suspicious. But hold on just a second. Did you see that? Well, in case you didn't, then here, I'll show you. If we rewind the footage and then pause it right here, we can see what appears to be a repeating command block directly below their feet. And the only way that you can get a command block is if you were inside of creative. But why would the speedrunner need a command block for a speedrun? Well, the speedrunner kills 2 more blazes where they open up their inventory and we can see that they have 2 stacks of ender pearls. But if we look at any point during the speedrun, we can see that the speedrunner never picked up any ender pearls, which means that this command block likely gave the speedrunner the ender pearls, which once again is against the rules of speedrunning. Well, now that the speedrunner has 6 blaze rods and 2 stacks of ender pearls, they make themselves 12 eyes of ender. They then begin making their way all the way back towards their portal, and once they're in the overworld, they throw their eye of ender and then begin heading in that direction. Wait, what the heck? Are we serious right now? The speedrunner went from running in a plains biome to magically being inside of the stronghold. But how is this possible? Well, if you ask me, I think that the speedrunner had someone teleport them inside of the stronghold, which once again is against the rules of speedrun. Well, now that the speedrunner is inside of the stronghold, they begin placing in all of their eyes of ender. But if I pause it right here, there's actually something about this frame here that is completely fake. Because if we look right here, we can see what appears to be a player just standing there, which is very weird. And once they're in the end, we can immediately see something that is fake. That obviously being this invisible staircase ladder. Well, the speedrunner climbs the ladder, and once they're on the main island, they place down their bed and wait for the ender dragon to purge. And once it does, the speedrunner clicks on their bed and blows themselves up. Okay, that speedrun was genuinely just embarrassing. This speedrunner starts by loading into the world, where immediately we can see a village. But that's not all. We can also see a shipwreck on the side of the screen. And these 2 structures being this close to each other means that the speedrunner got insanely lucky. But already we can see something that is actually fake about this speedrun. And no, it's not the village, and it's also not the shipwreck either. But instead, it's actually this piece of redstone right here. Because redstone dust can actually only be found inside of jungle temples. And this is clearly not a jungle temple, which means the speedrunner probably placed this down themselves, which I think we're gonna see why they placed this down very soon into the speedrun. Well, the speedrunner immediately makes their way over towards the village, and once they arrive at the village, once again, we can see something that is fake. And in case you haven't noticed it, then here, I'll show you. Right in front of them is a villager's house, and if you look closely at the door, it's already open. But the thing is, whenever villagers open doors, they always close them behind them, which means this door should not be open. Well, the speedrunner enters the house and listen closely to what they say.
Let's see. Ooh, nice chest. All right. Oh, okay. We got some bread, some emeralds, and some apples. I love all of this loot.
The speedrunner got some pretty average loot, like emeralds, potatoes, bread, and apples. All things that normally spawn inside of this village chest. But hang on just a second. If we rewind the footage and then play it again from right here, whenever they hover their mouse above the apple, we can see that it says redstone apple, which is very weird because redstone apples are not in normal Minecraft. So I'm very confused how they were somehow able to craft a redstone apple. Well, now that the speedrunner has some loot, they begin breaking the house for some wood. But just listen to what they say.
Now I need some wood. Give me that wood. Yeah, give me that wood. Yeah. Give me that wood.
Yeah, this speedrunner might be a little bit of a weirdo, but once they gathered 3 logs, they used the wood to make a crafting table and some sticks. They then used the crafting table to make a wooden axe.
A wooden axe. I love axes. Axes more like taxes. Am I right, guys? I love taxes.
Axes more like taxes? Is this speedrunner serious? Okay, well, now that the speedrunner has a wooden axe, they use it to actually kill the iron golem. But once again, I just want you to listen to the speedrunner.
Excuse me, iron golem. Hold that real quick. That little silly iron golem. You so silly, iron golem. Oh, did he give up? Are you okay, iron golem? Oh, okay, he's coming. All right, we'll just go right there. All right, come on, iron golem. Oh my god, this guy's a slowpoke. Are you serious? Boom. 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 Boom.
Well, after hitting the iron golem 13 times, yes, I actually did count, they gained 3 iron. The speedrunner, of course, uses that iron to make themselves an iron pickaxe, but they also decide to craft something else. And if I'm being completely honest, this next part is absolutely crazy. Well, just watch it for yourself.
Alright, what else should I make with what I have? I need a better weapon. I'll just make like an emerald sword. It's pretty good loot, I would say so myself.
Are we serious? An emerald sword? I've never seen a speedrunner make an emerald sword before. So how is this possible? Well, if I'm being completely honest, much like the redstone apples, I believe that the speedrunner might be using a mod, because redstone apples are not in Minecraft, nor is an emerald sword. So I'm pretty sure something fishy is going on here. Well, now that the speedrunner has some questionable items, they break the crafting table and begin making their way towards the shipwreck that we saw earlier in the speedrun. But wait just a second. You see, I'm trying to reach 200,000 subscribers, so if you could subscribe, that would genuinely mean a lot to me. Something about this frame right here is actually fake. And if I'm being completely honest, it's very, very obvious. So I'm sure that you saw it. But in case you didn't, if we zoom in right here, we can actually see what appears to be a green piece of wool, which at first is very confusing because why would they randomly place a piece of wool right here? But you'll see why they did this very, very soon. Well, the speedrunner jumps into the water and swims over towards the shipwreck. And now that the speedrunner is at the shipwreck, just listen to what they say.
Alright, I hate when shipwrecks have like terrible loot. I'm gonna be completely honest here. Alright, let's see. Okay, a chest. Oh my goodness, no way. That's such good loot. Yes, let's go. Holy diamonds and iron and gold and iron.
The shipwreck had very good loot, and we can even see that the speedrunner gained the advancement diamonds inside chest, which means that the speedrunner probably found this completely normally, which means that this loot could actually be legit. Well, now that the speedrunner has some pretty good loot, they swim back over towards land, where they once again place down their crafting table and make themselves an iron helmet, a diamond axe, and 1 golden ingot. But wait, this next part is extremely suspicious, so I'm gonna let you just watch it for yourself.
Alright, I am gonna need just a few blocks for my speedrun later, because obviously every speedrunner needs blocks and stuff. That's usually how it goes, you already know. Alright, there we go.
Did you see that? Well, the speedrunner mined the green wool that we saw earlier, but why did they randomly mine a green piece of wool? Well, right now, it's not gonna make any sense, but you'll see why they did this very, very soon. But once they mine the green piece of wool, they immediately find a ruined portal. And once they arrive at the ruined portal, watch very carefully for what happens.
Alright, let's see what we got here. Oh my goodness, there's crying obsidian everywhere. Okay, that's pretty good loot. I cannot lie, that is actually pretty good loot.
Did you see that? Well, once they open up the chest, we can see their entire inventory. And inside of it, we can see a flint and steel. But if we rewind 1 minute ago, we can see that the speedrunner never had a flint and steel. So where did they get this? Well, remember when they were mining the green piece of wool? I believe that underneath the green piece of wool was actually a flint and steel. That's why whenever the speedrunner broke the wool, they never looked down so that way we could see what they picked up. And if I'm being completely honest, they almost got away with it. But once they finish looting the ruined portal chest, just watch what they do next, because this next part is absolutely insane.
Wait, can I finish the portal with this? Let's see. Oh my god, that was enough obsidian to finish the portal. Oh, okay, good thing I got a flint and steel earlier. I can just light this now. Yep, there we go, perfect. We're headed into the nether, let's go.
Are we serious right now? The ruined portal had crying obsidian all over it, and you cannot light a nether portal if there's crying obsidian. So how did the speedrunner do this? Well, if I'm completely honest, I'm not too sure. But once the speedrunner enters the nether, they look around for a little bit until they realize that they actually got a terrible nether spawn. But that doesn't matter, because what they do next is so obviously them cheating that it's genuinely hilarious. Well, just watch for yourself.
Alright, what is this spawn? This is a weird spawn. Hold on, let me eat my apple real quick. Yeah, this is very weird. Alright, I do need like a little bit of glowstone. Just a little bit like that.
We all saw that, right? Well, whenever the speedrunner was mining glowstone, we can see them gain the advancement into fire inside the chat. And if we pause it right here, we can see a very obvious blaze rod entering their inventory. Not only that, the speedrunner also checks their inventory, and we can see a bunch of blaze rods and ender pearls inside of their inventory. And now that the speedrunner has all the items they need to enter the end, they begin heading back towards the overworld. But just watch this next part.
Alright, let's see. So, okay, I have some ender pearls and blaze rods. Get the blaze powder, boom. Let's go. Okay, so hopefully the end fortress place is not too far away. Oh, that's over in that direction. Are we serious? Okay. That's not terrible. And it broke. Oh my goodness, I'm so unlucky. Let's head in this direction. Hopefully we have like good stuff in this direction. I'm like hoping and praying. I have no idea where this portal could be at. Like, come on. Oh my god, no way. What is that? Is that the end portal? Oh my goodness. Oh wait, I'm pretty sure in the newest update they added these new portals that could just randomly spawn.
This end portal is so obviously fake, and I even looked inside of the newest update, and they said absolutely nothing about a new ender portal spawning above ground like this. So if I'm being completely honest, this part is so obviously fake. Well, the speedrunner enters the portal anyways, and they find a chicken. How the heck did a chicken get here? Well, the speedrunner kills the chicken and throws an ender pearl over towards the main island. And now for this next part, just watch how the speedrunner kills the ender dragon, because it is absolutely hilarious.
Okay, the ender dragon is right there. What do I do? Please don't attack me. There's actually like a speedrunner strat that like not a lot of people use in their speedruns that I think I'm gonna use right here. Okay, so come here, ender dragon. Okay, ready, ender dragon? Ready? Ender dragon. And if I like crouch like 2 times, oh yeah, there we go. The ender dragon. Hey, yo, okay, whoa, enderman.
Did the ender dragon just disappear? Did I see that right? And not only that, this portal right here is completely fake. But the speedrunner enters the end portal and finishes the speedrun with a time of 7 minutes and 16 seconds. Wait, what the heck is this? Directed by Tim Johnson? Wait, what? Produced by Marielle Soria, PGA, Sunzane Barugi, PGA, Christopher Jenkins, PGA? These are not the normal Minecraft credits. What is going on? So I think we're just gonna end the speedrun there. This speedrunner loads into the world, and we immediately see a desert village and also a ruined portal. But wait just a second. Already, we can see something that is not legit. You see, if you look down at their hotbar, they are in their 2nd slot. And whenever you load into a world, you always start in your 1st slot. So this tells us that the speedrun could be fake. The speedrunner starts heading towards the ruined portal, but listen to what they say.
Oh, holy moly macaroni, I have a ruined portal and a desert village right next to each other. Oh my goodness, this is such a good seed.
The speedrunner is right. This is actually a very good seed. The speedrunner makes her way towards the ruined portal and opens the chest to find some actual normal loot, like golden carrots, a fire charge, and some golden armor. All loot that is technically normal.
Ooh, okay. Tons of gold for me. It's okay loot, I guess.
Well, the speedrunner has 1 obsidian and they place it on the ruin portal, which is not enough to complete the ruin portal, but it definitely helps. The speedrunner then begins making their way towards the village, but wait just a second. Did you see that? Well, if we rewind the footage and then pause it here, on the left side of the screen, we can see what appears to be an alley, which is a mob that can only spawn inside of caves. So an alley being above ground like this is physically impossible. And this alley isn't even the craziest part. Just wait to see what happens later. Well, now that the speedrunner is at the village, they take some carrots and mine some hay bales. Everything that seems pretty normal. But then the speedrunner enters a house and finds a chest. But wait, we have to keep in mind that this house never has a chest inside of it. So how is there a chest right here? Well, it could be a world generation glitch, or maybe they placed it themselves. Well, the speedrunner opens the chest and finds some okay loot, like iron ingots, some carrots, and a sapling. If the speedrunner did cheat this in, I'm not sure why they would cheat in a sapling. Let's also listen to the speedrunner's reaction whenever they open the chest.
Ooh, a chest! Okay. I guess you could say I'm the luckiest person alive, huh?
The fact that they said that they were the luckiest person alive leads me to believe that the rest of the speedrun is going to be just as fake as the start. And you'll see what I mean very, very soon. Well, now that the speedrunner finished looting the chest, they begin walking away when they say this.
Okay, not bad at all. That's like the best loot that I think I've ever got like in my entire life.
Did you see that? Well, in case you didn't, if we rewind the footage and then pause it here, we can see that this piece of grass right here is a little bit more green than the rest. And I think the speedrunner put this there themselves, and you'll see exactly why I say this in just a few seconds. Well, the speedrunner says that they need a crafting table, so they begin mining a tree.
But wait just a minute. You see, it's always been my dream to one day reach 100,000 subscribers, and I'm currently 94% of the way there. So if you could subscribe to help me reach my dream, that would genuinely mean the world to me.
Alright, but I do need a crafting table to be able to do all my stuff and loot all my stuff and do all my stuff and loot it.
They make themselves a crafting table and some sticks. They begin crafting a whole bunch of new items to help them in the speedrun, but once they finish crafting, they say something very, very suspicious.
Might as well get a bucket of water. I remembered something that I really like collecting grass for some reason, so I'm just gonna like collect a little bit of grass, and cause I just love grass so much. Okay. I love grass.
Did you see that? Well, they mined that light green piece of grass that we saw earlier, but right now we have no idea why. But trust me, we will find out exactly why they did this very, very soon. Well, now that they finished mining that weird piece of grass, they begin making their way. Just a second. Do you see that? There is literally a lit nether portal exactly where we saw the ruined portal from earlier. But how is this possible? Because earlier the speedrunner did not have enough obsidian to finish the portal. So how could it have possibly been lit now? The speedrunner makes her way back towards the ruined portal when they say this.
So I think I'm gonna head back towards this portal. Wait a minute. Is it lit? Oh wait, yeah, I remember. I did light it earlier. So yeah, I lit it earlier.
There's no way they expect us to believe that they lit it earlier when we clearly saw that they just simply didn't. So something tells me that the speedrunner might be lying. Well, the speedrunner goes through the portal, and once they're in the nether, they find something absolutely crazy.
Okay, let's see this nether spawn. Oh my goodness, right, a fortress is literally right here. Oh my goodness gracious. That is the luckiest thing I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, the speedrunner spawned right next to a fortress, which is possible, I can't lie, but it's extremely lucky. And also, the speedrunner is running around the fortress, and we have yet to see a single mob, which is very, very suspicious. But what happens next is even more suspicious than that.
I wonder if there's any bad guys here. Well, in case there is, I might as well use my diamond sword.
The speedrunner somehow has a diamond sword, but we never watched them pick up a diamond sword at all throughout the speedrun. But wait a minute, remember when they were mining that piece of grass earlier? But I think that the speedrunner placed this diamond sword beneath the grass, so that way whenever they broke it, they picked up the diamond sword. And they weren't looking down, so that way we couldn't see them pick it up. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened. The speedrunner begins exploring the nether fortress when this happens.
Oh, what the hacky hack? Is that a ruin portal right there? Let's go! Let's see, what do we got? Oh, flint and steel. Oh, 7 blaze rods.
Yeah, the speedrunner found a ruin portal, which is actually legit, but what's inside of the chest at the ruin portal is not. Because it's impossible to find blaze rods inside of a ruin portal chest, because you can only get them if you simply kill a blade. And what the speedrunner says next leads me to believe that they are 100% cheating.
Oh, I heard that was in the new update that they added blaze rods inside of ruin portal chests instead of you having to kill, like, any of the blazes.
Yeah, they said it was a new update, but whenever I look this up, it says nothing about blaze rods spawning inside of ruined portal chest. So the speedrunner is just simply lying. But wait a second, I just realized something else that is very weird. And in case you haven't seen it, then here, I'll show you. On the left side of the screen, we can see what appears to be a sign. Well, it's too far away, so I can't see what they wrote on it. And the speedrunner just walks right by it without saying anything. So I'm not sure what it was used for. But the speedrunner does say this.
Well, I might as well go back because I don't need to be in here anymore because you know how it is. I never have to be here because I'm so cool and I'm so awesome and I'm so good at speedruns.
Did you see that? Well, in case you didn't hear, I'll rewind the footage and then I'll pause it here. So basically, there is a frog inside of this nether fortress, which in case you're new to Minecraft is just completely impossible. Because you see, frogs can only spawn inside of jungle. Well, the speedrunner starts making their way back towards the ruin portal when they suddenly do some pretty cool bridging. And then they finally make it to the nether portal, and once they're back in the overworld, they say this.
I'm not gonna lie, I think I'm doing this speedrun like super duper quick, and I'm like the bestest. I'm probably gonna get the best time. And also, I hate people who cheat in their speedruns, like so much. Like, can you guys just do like a normal speedrun? Like, let's just talk like one-on-one for a second. Like, I hate people who cheat in speedruns. Like, me personally, I would never cheat in a speedrun. Never, ever, 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 ever.
You gotta be kidding. First of all, who stops in the middle of a speedrun to just talk? And also, they are very clearly cheating. So there's no way they expect us to believe that they're not. Especially after what happens next.
Well, now that we got that out of the way, I have my 7 blaze rods. I might as well turn it into blaze powder now. I just need, what do you call it? I need Enderman. Oh, Enderman! I heard that there's like a secret Enderman call that make Enderman spawn. Whenever you're like, whenever you do that, it makes the Enderman spawn. So let's see if it works.
What the heck just happened? There's no way their secret Enderman call actually worked. I'm actually so confused what just happened. If anybody knows how they did this, then please let me know. Well, they begin fighting a whole bunch of Endermen when they get extremely low, so they run into some water. They do manage to kill one Enderman when something very weird happened.
Okay, I know I killed one of the Endermen, but I don't know if it gave me any Ender Pearls, but I might as well check. Oh my god, it did! It dropped 16 Ender Pearls! Oh yeah, I remember picking that up whenever I killed that, I remember.
There's no way that one Enderman dropped 16 Ender Pearls. That's just physically impossible. Also, if we look back at when they did kill the Enderman, we can see that it very clearly dropped nothing. Not only that, if we pay very close attention to the timer in the top left, we can see it go from 6 minutes and 4 seconds all the way to 6 minutes and 30 seconds, all within 1 second. So either the speedrunner is a time traveler or something very fishy is going on here. But the speedrunner gets out of the water and then they tell the Enderman to watch them do something cool.
Hey, Enderman, watch this. Hi-ya! Oh, okay. You like that, Enderman?
I'm gonna be honest, that was not impressive at all. The speedrunner turns their Ender Pearls into Eyes of Ender, but then whenever they throw it, something very weird happens.
Oh, it's in that direction. Yeah, I don't want to go in that direction. Oh my goodness, what is this? Is this stone brick? What the heck? How did stone brick get here? All right, let's see. Wait a minute, what the heck? Oh my god, no way is this stronghold!
Are we being serious right now? This is literally the Temu version of a stronghold. First of all, strongholds cannot even spawn this high up as they can only spawn at Y level 16. Not only that, on the right and the left side of the screen, we can see glowstone behind the iron bar. But guess what? I'm not done. Because if we also look at the spawner, that is not a normal spawner. That is something called a trial spawner that only spawns in the trial chamber. So those are 3 things that immediately make this part of the speedrun completely fake. But let's also listen to what the speedrunner says.
Oh my god, I can't believe it. I got so lucky and I got the stronghold. Oh my goodness gracious. Well, I think it's time to go to the end. Yahoo! Oh my goodness. What the heck kind of end spawn is this?
Okay, the speedrunner is in the end and they did not get a very good spawn. And whenever I first saw this part, I thought that they were gonna throw an ender pearl. They found an even better way to get out of this situation. And this part is absolutely mind-blowing.
I guess I better watch my steps, that way I don't fall. Oh my goodness gracious. This end spawn is just so bad and so garbage, and I hate this end spawn. I'm like kind of scared to even like go anywhere just because like I'm like right on the edge and it's just so crazy. Oh, wait, oh, I think I made it. Oh, okay, I'm good. Never mind.
Did we all just watch that happen? Because I am so confused. The speedrunner was literally floating on air. The only way I could assume that they did this was by placing barrier blocks. And they had to have memorized exactly where to go because they somehow didn't fall once. Which I gotta give it to them is pretty impressive. But what's not impressive is what they do next.
Oh, Ender Dragon! It's time to die, Ender Dragon! Oh, what the heck? Why are there so many eggs everywhere? Come here, egg. Oh, come here, egg. Oh, come here, egg. Oh, come here, egg. Oh. What the heck? Okay, stupid egg. Get lit on fire. So, oh, what the heck?
Speedrunner just lit themselves on fire, which is probably the most embarrassing thing that you can do in Minecraft. And for some reason, the Ender Dragon just, I guess, didn't spawn, and instead, a million eggs spawned. So the speedrunner should be able to beat the speedrun pretty easily. But just watch what they do.
Alright, time to go up. Oh, I beat the speedrun. Oh, wait. Wait, I almost beat the speedrun. Oh, wait, what the heck? Wait, oh my god, there we go. Yay, I beat the speedrun.
They finally beat the speedrun with a time of 9 minutes and 32 seconds. The speedrunner loads into the world, and immediately we see a desert temple and also a desert village out in the distance, which is a very good spawn for a speedrun. But we can already tell that something is fake. You see, if we look at the coordinates in the top left, they are not at 0, 0, which means that this is not a normal spawn. Well, the speedrunner immediately heads towards the pyramid, and they begin digging their way down. Once at the bottom, they loot all 4 chests that all have completely normal loot, but each chest does have 1 diamond each, which is incredibly suspicious, but it's not impossible. But once the speedrunner finishes looting the pyramid, they begin building and breaking their way out of the pyramid. And once they exit the pyramid, they begin making their way towards the village. But wait just a second. Did you say that? Well, in case you didn't, if we rewind the footage and then pause it here, we can see what appears to be a strider. But you see, striders can only spawn inside of snowy biome, which means a strider being here is completely impossible. Well, as the speedrunner starts heading towards the village, they break some dead bushes, which gives them a few sticks, which is actually a thing that a lot of pro speedrunners tend to do. So this part seems pretty legit. Well, the speedrunner arrives at the village, but wait, I just now noticed something that I didn't notice before. And in case you haven't noticed it either, here, I'll show you. You see, on the left side of the screen, we can see a player trying to blend in with the sand in the background. And whenever you're speedrunning, you have to make sure that you're in a single player world. So if they're playing with another person, then this immediately makes the speedrun completely fake. And whenever the speedrunner gets inside one of the village's houses, we can see the speedrunner's friend change their skin inside chat. And you're not gonna believe what they do next. Well, the speedrunner breaks the crafting table and then finds a chest that has some iron and some bread. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Well, the speedrunner places down their crafting table and then they make themselves an iron pickaxe and diamond boots. The speedrunner then breaks the crafting table and then starts exploring more of the village. But wait just a second. Did you see what I just saw? Well, in case you didn't, if we rewind the footage and then play the video from here, we can see a villager walk right by them. Except this isn't a normal villager, as I'm pretty sure this is the speedrunner's friend that we saw earlier trying to blend in with the sand. And at first, I didn't even notice that this was a fake villager. Well, the speedrunner explores more of the village and then starts breaking some hay bales. They also start mining some potatoes, where once again we can see this fake villager that we saw earlier. And if you think that this villager is fake, just see what they do next. Well, the speedrunner breaks all of the potatoes, and then we suddenly see a pressure plate on the ground. But the only thing is that pressure plates do not naturally spawn, as they can only be crafted. And of course, the speedrunner steps on the pressure plate, where they suddenly get launched 800 blocks into the sky. But wait just a minute. You see, I only have 32 subscribers, and I really want to reach 33. So if just one of you subscribe, then I could finally reach my dream of 33 subscribers. But when they eventually start falling back down, they're in a completely different area. Because before they were in a desert, and now we can see them in a plains biome. But how could they have possibly done this? Well, I'm not too sure. But the speedrunner falls back down and lands in some water. And once they get out of the water, they then find a ruin portal that is only missing one piece of obsidian. So the speedrunner loots the ruin portal chest, which has a flint and steel, a piece of gold, a golden chest plate, and one obsidian, of course. So the speedrunner places in the 1 obsidian and lights the nether portal. Once they load into the nether, we can see that they spawn right next to a nether fortress. But if we play the video for 5 more seconds, we can see that this is clearly not a normal nether fortress. So I'm pretty sure the speedrunner just went inside a creative and built their own nether fortress, which in case you're new to Minecraft is just simply not legit. But the speedrunner goes up the staircase where they suddenly find a piglin. Something about this piglin tells me that it's not real, and you'll see why I say this in just a sec. So the speedrunner opens up their inventory, grabs a piece of gold, and drops it to the piglin. The piglin, of course, examines the gold and drops them an enchanted diamond sword. Okay, this is obviously fake, but that's not even the craziest part, because you see, the diamond sword has sharpness 3000. I didn't even know that was an enchantment inside of Minecraft. Well, the speedrunner walks away from the piglin and goes outside where they find a blaze. Guys, am I the only one seeing that this is clearly not a real blaze? Well, the very real blaze attacks the speedrunner, and then the speedrunner just one-hits it. And the blaze, of course, drops blaze rods. But how many blaze rods? Well, let's see. The blaze dropped a stack of blaze rods because, of course. Well, the speedrunner now has all of the blaze rods that they need, so they leave the nether, and once they're back in the overworld, they go around in circles for a little bit until they suddenly start dropping down below into a cave. Now, when I watched this part for the first time, I was very confused, because why would the speedrunner go inside of a completely random cave? Well, you'll see why they do this in just a moment. Well, the speedrunner drops down below, and we can see what appears to be a stone brick tunnel, which, if you know anything about Minecraft, you know that stone brick usually means that it's a stronghold. But the only problem is that they're at Y level 38, and strongholds can only appear at Y level 16 or below, which makes this part of the speedrun completely fake. Well, the speedrunner walks towards the stronghold and mines their way in, and that's when we can see that the end portal is already lit and it's made out of diamonds and amethyst. Guys, how is this even possible? Everybody knows that end portals are made from end frames and not diamonds, which confirms that this part of the speedrun is very, very fake. Well, the speedrunner begins to jump into the portal, but wait, do you see what I see? Well, in case you don't, here, I'll show you. Behind the iron bars, we can see what appears to be a villager, which once again, I have a weird suspicion could be the speedrunner's friend that we saw all throughout the speedrun so far. Well, the speedrunner enters the end, and once they load in, they build up with hay bales and begin searching for the ender dragon. But the speedrunner runs up towards the ender dragon and hits it one time, which somehow kills it. I had no idea that sharpness 3000 was this OP. Well, now that the ender dragon is dead, the speedrunner jumps into the portal and finishes the speedrun with a time of 6 minutes and 24 seconds, giving them the new world record. The speedrunner starts by creating their world, and everything seems pretty normal. But once they load in, we can see that they're looking slightly down at the ground. And whenever you start a new world, you're always looking perfectly straight, which means that there's actually a good chance that the speedrun could be fake. Now, in this first 5 seconds, I want you to watch the speedrunner very closely, because something seems off.
Oh my god, I love speedrunning. It's like my favorite thing to do. It's like, oh I love speedrunning.
Did you see it? Well, as the speedrunner went inside of third person, we can see what appears to be a lucky block directly behind them, which is extremely weird because lucky blocks are not inside of normal Minecraft, as they can only be obtained with mods, which makes this part of the speedrun very suspicious. Well, the speedrunner makes their way deeper into the village where they find a chest that has leather boots. Listen to what they say.
Oh, boots? Are we serious? And toilet paper? Oh my goodness, I hate toilet paper. Ew, I'm gonna throw a toilet paper. Hiya! No more toilet paper, I hate toilet paper.
The speedrunner now has leather boots, and it may not seem like it right now, but these leather boots are gonna play a very important part later in the speedrun. Well, the speedrunner begins mining a tree where they gather 4 logs and make themselves a crafting table and craft a wooden pickaxe and a wooden axe. The speedrunner then begins looking for the iron golem, but just watch what happens next.
Alright, Iron Golem, I'm gonna kill you. Thank you for not attacking me, Iron Golem. That's like super nice of you.
Yeah, the speedrunner killed the iron golem, but for some reason it didn't attack them, which is very confusing because iron golems always attack someone who hits them. So the fact that this iron golem for some reason didn't attack is very suspicious. Well, now that the speedrunner has 3 iron ingots, they suddenly remember that they have to do a victory dance. Yeah, just watch this for yourself.
Oh wait, I almost forgot to do my victory dance for killing the iron golem. Are you ready, guys? Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. We killed the iron Yahoo, yahoo, yahoo!
I've never seen a speedrunner stop their speedrun to do a victory dance. And not only that, dancing is not even possible inside of Minecraft unless you have mods. So this likely means that the speedrunner is cheating. Well, the speedrunner explores more of the village where they suddenly find a lava pool. But once again, we can see something that is fake about the speedrun. And I'm just gonna let you watch this for yourself.
Oh my god, a lava pool! Yes! We needed that lava pool for like the longest times ever. Because I love lava pools, I can't even lie.
Did you see that? Well, the speedrunner suddenly gained the advancement Stone Age inside chat, but they weren't mining any stone. So how is this possible? Well, if we rewind the footage and then play it again from right here, we can see the speedrunner suddenly gain a bunch of cobblestone inside of their inventory. But if we look down at the ground, there was no stone on the floor. So how did they do this? Well, if I'm being completely honest, I have no idea. So if you know how they did this, then please let me know. Well, the speedrunner arrives at the lava pool, but wait just a second. This is what a normal lava pool looks like. And as we can see, there is usually stone around it. But if we look at the speedrunner's lava pool, there is no stone to be seen, which means that the speedrunner likely dug out a hole in the ground and just filled it up with lava, which would be against the rules of speedrunning. Well, the speedrunner places down their crafting table and makes an iron bucket. They fill the bucket up with water and they then begin constructing the nether portal. And I'm not gonna lie, the speedrunner actually knows what they're doing because they construct the nether portal completely normally. But what's not normal is what they do next.
Alright, so basically that's how you build the nether portal. It's pretty easy, I can't even lie. Right, now that we finished the nether portal, we can just light it, just like that. There we go.
Hold on just a second. Did you see that? Well, the speedrunner opened up their inventory where they suddenly had a flint and steel. But if we rewind the footage 20 seconds ago, we can see that they had no flint and steel. So the fact that they now have a flint and steel is completely fake. Well, once the speedrunner loads into the nether, they use what they call a new speedrunner strategy. And this new speedrunner strategy is something I've never seen before. Well, just watch it for yourself.
Now I just have to try to find where a northern fortress would be. There is like a new speedrunner technique. If you go like this, and then you like smack the top, you can try to calculate where it's gonna be, and there should be one, oh, right over there. Oh my god, straight ahead.
Okay, there's no way that building this weird structure leads them directly to another fortress. This is just impossible. And if you think this new speedrunner strategy is insane, then you should see what the speedrunner does at the end, because it is absolutely insane.
So according to my calculations, it should be somewhere up here. Let me turn my render distance up. Oh, there it is, right there. Yeah, right there, right there. Oh my god, I can't believe I figured it out.
Well, the only way to get to the nether fortress is by bridging, so that's exactly what the speedrunner does. But they end up doing something that makes this speedrun completely fake. Well, just watch it for yourself.
So now I'm gonna have to build over there, I guess. I'm not really good at the bridging stuff. Oh no, oh no, oh no! Oh my god! I'm burning! I'm burning!
Well, hold on just a second. You see, I currently have 0 subscribers, and it's always been my dream to one day reach 1 subscriber. So if you could be my first subscriber, that would genuinely mean the world to me. The speedrunner fell into the lava and somehow has not lost a single heart. How did they do this? Well, if we rewind the footage all the way back to whenever they were in the overworld and pause it here, we can see that the speedrunner had resistance, which makes the speedrunner completely invincible, which is obviously cheating. And not only that, if we zoom in right here, we can see that the speedrunner's leather boots are now enchanted, which somehow places obsidian everywhere they walk above the lava, which is something I've never seen before. Well, the speedrunner walks all the way over towards the nether fortress and begins building up. But wait just a second. Did you see that? Well, if we rewind the footage and then play it again from right here, we can see that as the speedrunner was building up, they ran out of blocks, but then suddenly gained another stack, which means that the speedrunner likely went inside of creative, but just cut it out of the speedrun. Well, now that the speedrunner has finally arrived at the top, they do something absolutely hilarious. Well, just watch it for yourself.
We made it! Yay! Yay! Know what that calls for? Another emote! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! We made it! To the fortress! Yeah, we made it! Yeah, to the fortress! To the fortress to the fortress. Yahoo!
Okay, this speedrunner is absolutely insane. Well, now that they're at the nether fortress, they begin exploring where they suddenly find this golden netherrack block. And then they find another and another, which leads them directly to a blaze spawner, which makes me believe that the speedrunner placed these here inside the fortress before they began the speedrun, so that way they wouldn't get lost. Well, now that they're at the blaze spawner, I want you to just watch what they do next.
Oh my god, there's the blazy thing. Alright, can you please spawn blazes? That way I can kill them, please. Oh, thank you. Die, blaze, die. Oh my god, that was a hard fight, but I managed to kill the blaze. Oh my god, blazes! Die, blazes, die! Oh my goodness, these blazes are so hard to fight.
Just like the iron golem that didn't attack them earlier in the speedrun, the blazes are also not attacking them. But the only time that mobs don't attack you is whenever you're in peaceful mode. But the speedrunner is losing a bar of hunger, so they're clearly not in peaceful. So my only assumption is that the speedrunner is probably using a mod that makes it so that way mobs don't attack them inside of their speedrun, which once again would be against the rules of speedrunning. The speedrunner eventually grabs 5 blaze rods, and once they start killing the 6th one, we can see that they suddenly picked up a stack of ender pearls. Okay, this speedrunner isn't even trying to hide the fact that they're cheating anymore, because this is so obvious. Well, they eventually grab 6 blaze rods, and that's when they decide to turn their blaze rods into blaze powder to make themselves 12 eyes of ender. But hold on just a second. Do you see that? Well, right here, we can see what appears to be a nether portal. How does the speedrunner have a nether portal inside of their inventory? I think I must have missed an update. Well, now that the speedrunner has a nether portal inside of their inventory, they place it down and head back into the overworld. But just watch what happens next.
Oh my god, I'm in the stronghold, I'm in the stronghold. My nether portal led me here. Oh, I guess my nether portal glitched or something. I don't know where it went.
The speedrunner is now somehow inside of the stronghold, but there is no nether portal to be seen, which makes me believe that the speedrunner went inside their nether portal and flew all the way over to the stronghold, but just cut it out, which is very suspicious. Well, the speedrunner places in all of their eyes of ender, and once they're in the end, they build up and head towards the middle of the island. They then look into the eyes of an enderman, which for some reason the enderman just doesn't care, and then they wait for the ender dragon to perch, when suddenly out of nowhere the speedrun cuts and the ender dragon is nowhere to be seen. And listen to their reaction.
What the heck? Well, see you later, alligator.
Well, I guess the speedrunner beat the speedrun with a time of 13 minutes and 54 seconds. Yeah, so even cheating, the speedrunner still could not beat the world record for the fastest speedrun. That was genuinely embarrassing. If you enjoyed that speedrun, then I would highly recommend that you watch this speedrun, because trust me, it's just as cool.